Youth, innovation, experimentation, and success all are interwoven, and one cannot be imagined without its counterparts. Though Swami Vivekananda always talked about youth whenever he talked about great future of India, recently we have practically started trusting our youth in true sense of the word, and India has raised its stature nationally and internationally in every field of work. A great step in empowering youth was taken by M.E.R.I group of institutions with collaboration with IIT Delhi, powered by Social Alpha recently. To know more about M.E.R.I group of institutes, I have Malika with me. Over to you, Malika.
You all about my college. Management Education and Research Institute is a NAC accredited, ISO certified, A plus grade premier institute with a legacy of academic excellence for more than 27 years. MERI is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, approved by AICTE, MHRD, now known as MOE, Government of India.
M.E.R.I organized an Entrepreneurship and Innovation Growth Fest 1.0 to celebrate the Startup India Day, in which there was panel discussion. Social activist Dr. Anjali Nigam with us, who has been awarded with several national and international awards, to tell us what she has in store for us. And to know more about Dr. Anjali Nigam, over to you, Malika.
We are glad to have amongst us Dr. Anjali Nigam Ma'am, Professor and Head Incubator, MERI. Dr. Anjali Nigam Ma'am is a PhD in Strategic Management with Business Enterprise Management from England, has PGDMs in Theology and Journalism and Mass Communication. She has 30 plus years experience in India, England and Japan, of working with 120 plus corporate PSUs, universities, IITs and IIMs. She has been 9 times nationally and internationally awarded and recognized for her work in gender equality, diversity and inclusion, training consulting, and value education. Received Best HRD Practice in 27 countries by IFTDO. Award for improving quality of working life by the hands of Honorable President of India, Shri Param Mukherjee in 2013. UN Women Award 2020 gave special mention for her work in gender equality, diversity inclusion. Global Awards 2021 by Power to Fly honored her as a woman leadership advocate for the year. She has been worked with high impact startups and incubator as group head and consultant at TNet IIT Madras, faculty at IIT Delhi and SDIBI, pre-incubation program at Nexus American Center, mentor international startups at T Hub, advisor HR at Pusa Krishi Indian Council of Agriculture Research.
And now I request Dr. Anjali Nigam to guide us through today's program.
And everybody from around India and the world who has joined us today for celebrating our Startup India Day. Our Honorable Prime Minister yesterday he called for celebrating the Startup India Day on 16th of January. So here we are. He also urged us to add 75 unicorns in 2022 to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So M.E.R.I group of institutions right here by launching its incubation center at M.E.R.I group of institutions, we are doing just that. Thank you so much once again for being here with us and sharing our happiness and the nation's happiness. Our partners, I would like to thank them. It has been an honor. Social Alpha, who is known a Tata Trust venture, they have partnered with us and they will take our startups who promise to be investable, who show promise and are investable and scalable, to show the doors towards organizations, funding, etc., from Tata Trust, from Bill Gates Foundation, and further market entry strategies. Thank you, Social Alpha. Yes, we have EDC, that is the Entrepreneurship Development Center at IIT Delhi. They have collaborated with us. They are partners with us for this, for our event. We have Start in UP also as one of our partners, and they themselves came up and partnered with us, and that's really, really amazing. We are figured on Startup India portal today for this event. Congratulations once again to all of us. It is really amazing the kind of response we got. We got about 400 plus participants who registered with us for the event. 178 ideas we've received for the Ideathon. We are running for this. We had already 2 rounds of screening, and we have 11 finalists today who will be presenting to you the wonderful high impact social innovation ideas, because we are all in for the same cause. We are very keen to work from the third P, that is the planet, to people, to profits. So basically from 3D to 2D to 1D. Earlier it was mainly profits, but then people were added 2 dimension to the business objectives. But today, I think our thinking and socially conscious students and entrepreneurs are actually working at creating high impact and working at social needs to create social solutions for that social impact.
To deliver keynote address, we have Professor Lalit Agrawal, Vice President, M.E.R.I Group of Institutes, with us.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
everybody. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good to have such a interesting list of participants on. Good morning, everybody. So, interesting list of participants on this very special day, which is the Startup India Day. 16th of August is definitely a day which India should celebrate, just like its own Independence and Republic Day, because this is a day wherein we are celebrating the young people who are going to take us to the next height. A new revolution in on the economic front of India is going to start soon with the help of our young achievers. And as the Prime Minister rightly said, that startup, the number of innovators and the startup people who come into the forum will definitely take India to a 5 billion economy. Welcome you all, and congratulations to the participants and people who have come up with wonderful ideas. I know that last 15-20 days, our whole team has been working very hard to see that these ideas are recognized and we are able to take them to the next level. 178 ideas coming out of around more than 350 participants is a huge and humongous and a very, very heartening figure, which we should all be happy about it. As far as Einstein once said, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. So the question is, how do we move forward? For the young people who have come up with the idea, the importance is start solving the problem for yourself, and you are going to solve the problem for the world. Yes, these people are here. Yes, these people have arrived, and we believe that the next unicorn movement, one of these people who are here presenting today, will definitely be a part of it. As far as the young students are concerned, I would say keep on motivating yourself. It is only your resilience which will take you to a next level. Life is difficult, and especially for an entrepreneur, life has always been difficult because he has to come up every day with new challenge because he is a problem solver and not a problem creator.
Dr. Anjali Nigam thanked Professor Lalit Agrawal with these words.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir. It is an honor, and we take your call, sir, for 75 incubatees in 2022. God willing, inshallah.
EDC IIT Delhi is giving new shape to the future of entrepreneurs. Let's see how. Panel discussion started immediately, and Supreet Singh, co-founder of Star Shield, was the first one to put forward his thoughts and experiences.
But I can tell you a kind of a journey what we have gone through with this and how we have started with all these things. But before that, I would like to tell you what all we have done till now, in terms of what was the problem we were facing and what is the credibility at the moment we have in the market. See, as you were there, we have also started our journey from the education segment. We were running our own college and we were having an animation institute. But I think, as all of us are aware, we were facing the issues with the paints. We were facing the issue with the air conditioning. So we have started everything with the AC's bill, how to reduce AC bill and everything. This was the starting point in our journey. So we have thought to reduce the air conditioning cost, and we have searched many areas wherein we can reduce it. But sooner we found that there is a paint that is in the Japan.
A very good morning to all. We'll be starting the event very soon. Kindly be with us. Thank you for your patience.
They were reducing some temperature out of that. So that excites us, and we have just taken that particular thing over here and done the R&D with us. And today we are exporting to Japan the same thing.
Next on stage was Lav Agrawal, co-founder Optimlex Corporation, joining straight from New York, US.
Amit Sharma, yeah. So the aim of this kind of research was essentially to try to solve disputes and try to find what are some predictive factors that would help predict the outcome of different types of litigations. About 10 years ago, the now co-founder of the startup was involved in some sort of a deal with a startup and another venture capitalist, who at the last moment pulled back their funding, due to which what happened was that the startup essentially went bankrupt. So they wanted to sue the venture capitalist for damages. When they went to different lawyers and asked how they can improve their chances of winning, pretty much all lawyers said that that's not really possible. Each case is a unique case, and there is no precedent that can be applied. So, and hence that was the idea and the birth of this particular research. And about 8 years down the line, Um, the co-founder was able to understand and research and figure out that the lawyers were not completely correct, and essentially there are very strong factors that might not completely predict what the judge might say, but there are indicators that would help you optimize for the overall winning of your particular case. So when I joined, the main aim of this particular research was to scale it up to a much larger data set, see how things work. We did that from about 100 cases to about, I think, more than 2,000 or 3,000 cases, and the research panned out. When we showed and presented our results to external users, there was a strong request to make some sort of an MVP product out of it, and that's where the journey began about 3 years ago. Um, it took us a year to scale up our research more to essentially create the product and then present it for the first time to certain investors or users. And there was a lot of interest, and hence OptimalX was incorporated. Over the past 1.5 years, what we have done is we have expanded our product. It's a fully functional product that focuses today on two types of law, primarily contract law, but last year we also ventured into what we call as bodily injuries. Um, what this covers essentially is cases related to motor vehicle accidents, slip, trips, and falls, medical malpractice. So the overall aim now for OptimalX is to uh, basically make the entire judicial system more efficient and value driven for each and every type of user, no matter which side you're on. We want to deliver that value of predictive analytics and help everyone, specifically in terms of insurance and bodily injuries, wherein the law seems to be so obscure that people do not know if they would at any time win anything, or their pain and suffering could be compensated. So for us, our USP is basically focused on predicting those kind of damages which others think cannot be very easily and quantitatively and qualitatively identified. We started with one product, but we are proud to say that this year we have essentially expanded ourselves from one to about 5 products, which are again currently in conception, but we plan to release them in the next 6 months. Our clients primarily today are in US, but algorithms that we have pan out also in the European market. So by the end of this year or the next year, our aim is to also expand into that market. And a couple of years down the line, the overall hope is to expand to all Commonwealth nations, essentially also bringing the power of this kind of tool to India eventually.
Ayush Nigam, co-founder of Distinct Horizon and Pure Scan AI, was next to join.
Right. So essentially, the whole direction of wanting to do something in this space started much
A very
earlier
good
for me.
morning to
When I
all. We'll
wanted to
be
kind of
starting the
impact the
event
lives of
very
millions of
soon.
people
Kindly
and was
be with
looking for
us.
something
Thank
to
you
do,
for
right?
your
Like, what
patience.
can I do to have that sort of an impact? So we kind of went around talking to a lot of people initially. We were kind of looking for something more in the rural sector so that we can touch the lives of millions of farmers and have significant increase in incomes, and also restrict a lot of the desperate migration that is happening. So we were happy if people were consciously deciding as a choice to migrate from villages to cities. That was fine. But obviously, when there was desperate migration, which we saw a lot of because of circumstances, that is something that we felt was not really very positive. And we felt that increasing the opportunity for people in villages, increasing incomes in villages, became a very central concern to us. And that's where this whole journey started as such. Later, after meeting a lot of experts and even agriculturists, government people, not just in India, we also went to Bangladesh, had did a lot of research there as well. We came to these very simple solutions, that certain very simplistic solutions can impact millions of lives pretty easily. And that's where we wanted to stick with it. So coming first to distinct horizons, so I'll first talk about that. So in distinct horizons, what we have done
Losing you,
is,
Ayush. Yeah,
oh, sorry.
voice went for a few seconds.
Hello, is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Right. I'll just keep my video on. Right. So what I was saying is, so when we kind of were looking at the whole agricultural sector, we realized that the way fertilizer is being applied on farms, it is not only not being efficient as a delivery method because the plant is not able to get the fertilizer completely, but rather it is also being wasted to the environment and hence polluting the water, creating huge amount of global warming and destroying the soil as well. Now, this kind of a thing where it is leading to, on one hand, lower productivity and higher cost, while also destroying the environment massively at large, seemed like a very important problem to be solved. Luckily for us, there have been scientists who have done a lot of research and have come up with methods that can uh, solve this problem completely. So there are ways to apply fertilizers at the root zone in the right manner, apply much lesser fertilizer, and still increase productivity, reduce costs, and protect the environment. Almost eliminate the global warming, water pollution, soil degradation.
Harshal, founder and CEO of Medifabrics, was next to mesmerize with his powerful thoughts and innovative startups.
Before going ahead with the content that I would like to speak, so I'd first like to tell you all about my journey. So it all started in 2017 with a research project and have got various research grants. So it all started in 2017, and initially I have been working in the field of posture correction. Post that, the research was almost complete, and in fact, in January 2020, I guess, I was there in China for some, to understand the manufacturing process. But as soon as I came back from China, I realized that this virus and these bacterias are way more harmful than the product that I have been working on. So after having a detailed discussion with some of the doctors from AIMS Delhi and Safdarjung Hospital, I realized that these bacteria and viruses are not only harmful during the COVID times, but in fact pre-COVID or post-COVID also. There are multiple bacteria which are actually very fatal. Pseudomonas, tuberculosis. These are some of the bacteria and viruses that are actually very fatal. So we mutually decided to work upon a product that can ultimately prevent the spread of infections via textiles. So we specifically, being from a textile background from IIT Delhi, I along with my team, the research specifically focused on the spread to prevent the spread of infection via textiles. So with the 8 years of, with the 8 months of R&D, and although I have also a research background in chemical engineering, so with the 8 months of deep research, we were able to develop this chemical solution that was effective against various enveloped and non-enveloped viruses, bacteria, and also fungi. So we got some failures initially with the testing methods and the testing methodologies, the parameters that we tested. We got multiple failures, but post that failures, we realized that we needed to, the molecular structure needs to be changed, and finally we were able to come up with this completely, uh, 100% efficacy, a solution with 99.99% efficacy. So we were able to develop that solution. Now the problem was not the developing the R&D of the product, but the problem was how will we, uh, I mean, gain the trust of the people to use this product. How will we uh, teach the teach our customer that how problematic this solution, this problem is, this pseudomonas or tuberculosis, these bacteria, and how dangerous they are. So we collaborated with various research organizations and few MNCs to work on it, and finally we were able to develop the solution, and we were able to commercialize it. Again, before commercializing, being an early stage startup, we actually focus some financial issues, financial pressures. So we applied for various research grants, and finally, again, we got that research grant. So finances were not an issue anymore. So finally, we were able to develop that, and now we are operating pan India, and currently we have 30 plus hospitals who are using a product in North India, and approximately 150 plus hospitals pan India who are using our product.
Sanchit Agrawal, data scientist turned entrepreneur, was next there.
Inviting me for this particular discussion. I would like to share that when I started, I was more keen to solving social problems I joined particularly startup ecosystem after my graduation, and I was working with startups who were like at a very early stage of their journey. My first startup was working in cancer, solving for oncology, and basically finding invention in that space using AI. I always had this in mind that how we can use AI for certain industries like agriculture and other use cases. I started with Vishuti in year 2016 with the idea to make a smart glasses for visually challenged. It was kind of extension of my project which I was doing during my thesis, and we got a lot of applause during that time. But the project was not able to fly off due to the few restrictions at that time.
A very good morning to
Later, I
all.
was
We'll
also
be
working on the
starting the
agriculture
event
side. I
very
was
soon.
studying,
Kindly be
what
with us.
better can
Thank
be
you
done
for your
in
patience.
agriculture. I started to think how we can use AI and IoT in agriculture, and I started interviewing farmers to understand their pain points. When I was doing that, I understand their foremost pain point is to market their produce. uh, I was very inquisitive about to learn that why farmers are intended to use pesticides in their cultivation, why they are not doing it naturally when it is possible and it was used to be done. If we go back in the history of agriculture, what I learned was the major reason is because they don't get value for the same. And marginalized farmers, if we talk about, they really have restrictions to market their produce, even if they produce without using any pesticides. And that's how we begin with the journey in agriculture, where I started with Ecom Farms. The idea with Ecom Farms was to focus on local farmers near Delhi NCR and equip them with natural farming practices and help them grow vegetables and fruits. We were the first in growing yellow watermelons, which I think in Delhi, very few knew about it. And we were doing that, but due to certain perishability issues, we had a spin off, and now we are working on non perishables. I would like to share my screen so that I can take you forward to the journey of what Sattvic White is and what we are doing. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, Sanchit.
Yeah. So Sattvic Bite, with the Sattvic Bite, our motto is that we should eat natural and live natural. And if we talk about today's agriculture, uh, it's full of pesticides. The way farmers are doing it today, they have these two things, urea and DAP. They don't think of starting their cropping cycle without these. And what we end up with is having bad quality and adulterated chemical produce, which ultimately we eat, and we end up having toxins in our body. If we go by the study of Punjab and Haryana, you can find that today almost the entire region, it is full of toxins, and that is what even the huge worry of the most of the farmers over there. At the same time, these marginalized farmers, they also lack good agriculture practices. When I say good agriculture practices, generally the practice in India is monocropping. We are not exploiting how a multi-cropping can be done, or how multi-cropping can actually support reduction in the pesticides or reduction in the fertilizers, how symbiotic cropping can help to have a better produce.
Two-thirds never
Dr.
get
Anli
the
Nigam wanted to
opportunity.
know why
My
most of the
question
startups
to
don't succeed
all the
and one
panelists
liner
is,
inspiration
please
from
answer
all the
for the
panelists.
benefit of our students. And then we would like to close the panel discussion with one line message of inspiration from all of you. Yes, Harsh.
So basically, what my point is that majority of the startups do fail because of the lack of motivation. So ultimately, I have seen multiple people who started their own startups, shutting down it in like 1 year or 1.5 year. So again, the problem is they fear of losing XYZ amount of job and getting into the startup. There are multiple reasons. One, the family pressure. The second is like they fear that how will they raise the startup or how will they run the startup without money. Again, this is one of the most important point. So what I personally feel is that money is not something that drives the startup. It is the motivation and dedication that drives the startup. I initially started with 0 rupees in hand and 0 rupees in account, and finally I was able to build this. So again, money should not be the motivation to run this startup. And the most important point is that the reason We should know the reason why we are doing this, and the reason should not be money. We should know our vision and the aim, and combining all these can be the multiple reasons why majority of the startups fail in first 1 or 1.5 years. I mean, this is what I think and what I experienced during my this journey, that there were multiple reasons. Even I thought that I should close down this, but I mean, especially during the COVID times, I was able to do nothing, and I mean, I was sitting at home. So, but again, the motivation factor was not money. It was the aim that I was targeting upon, that I wanted to do something in the field of infection control, and so that it can impact hundreds and crores of people. So that was the motivation. It was not money that was the motivation. So, I mean, this is what I personally think.
Awesome, Harsh. I think you have a very valid point here, because if there is that achievement drive and the fire and the belly to make a change and to bring solutions, I think we can do it. And you started with a zero account, zero bank balance. Sorry, not an account, but zero. So I say all you know, all I have no hat right now, but all hats to you, off to you, for this awesome, inspiring journey. And we would be very happy to actually continue this journey with you for motivating our startups further.
Thank you.
um, Harsh, you also mentioned when we met last, about that strategy that maybe you talked about, even when we get money, we are not able to identify how to spend it and on the what heads. So that is one area which you said the startups would really need to kind of work on, and that is where it helped you to collaborate with the companies, and that's for your marketing strategy, commercialization strategy, etc., right?
Right. So again, we need to decide that in what areas that we need to, focus upon, and that budgeting is one of the most important aspects of it. Running a startup is not about getting XYZ amount of money in account. Rather, the most important aspect is budgeting
That
aspect,
marked the
where
end of
most of
Power
the
Packed panel
people do
discussion.
fail. In fact,
Dr. Anli Nigam was really
So
excited
we
about
have
the
the
Ideathon,
Ideathon
and she had a valid
now.
reason to get
In
excited
fact, it has
also.
been really, really humbling to see such a lot of responses from our dear students and researchers and innovators. We got almost 178 ideas till yesterday. And for sustainability, for making this world a better place to live, for solving social problems which we face every day. Out of that, we had the first round through the Google form of first round filter. The second round filter was through pitch decks and presentations, where we could shortlist. We wanted to shortlist 25, but we actually had to take 39 ideas because they had held promise. And then we finally, today, we have 11 finalists who will be presenting to us their ideas. And for this, I am very happy.
Just to announce the idea, sorry, the
Mr. Aditya Agrawal,
participants who have
Sahaj Singhal, and
actually
Prashant
marked these
Prajapati
questions today.
won first,
Today's winners
second,
are
and third prizes
Aditya Agarwal,
respectively for their
Mr.
innovative
Sahaj Singhal,
ideas.
and Mr. Prashant Prajapati. M.E.R.I group of institution is offering 1 year co-working space for fixed desk to all of these, three top people, and which amounts to around 50,000 annually. The amount is equivalent to about 50,000 rupees annually. So congratulations to Aditya, Sahaj, and Prashant. Well done, and I hope that soon we'll see you in the offices of ours and in your offices where you are working on the idea and developing it to the next level. Thank you and congratulations to all other people also who have not been able to get the prizes today, but they are always welcome.
Dr. Deepshika Kalra, Professor and Dean, M.E.R.I College, offered vote of thanks to all the panelists and participants, marking the end of this mega event.
National and national conferences. Dr. Kalra has been a professional administrator and has been handling multiple administrative responsibilities Program Coordinator of MBA, Coordinator IQAC, Member
A very good
IIC,
morning to
Nodal
all. We'll be
Officer NAD
starting the
and
event very soon. Kindly be
ARIIA,
with us.
Head
Thank you for
CSR
your
Club,
patience.
Coordinator NAC, Coordinator Institutional Marketing and Admissions, Coordinator Corporate Mentorship Program, and has been instrumental in institutional growth along with initiating quality education, innovation, and social responsibility culture within the campus. Ma'am, this is a wonderful, and I'm reminded of the research which is happening on the male and female brains in Pennsylvania University, where Dr. Ragini Verma from India is leading this research, and the research says that the women are, it is actual fact now, which they are, the research is saying, they're multitasking experts. So thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful, for being with us, for you are always there for everybody, and we would like to hear your words of.
Thank you, ma'am. You are always an inspiration. It's your inspiration only that I'm here. Thank you so much. So, Honorable Professor Lalit Agarwal, respected Dr. Anjali Nigam, our most valued panelists, founders of the startups, Impact Startups today, invited guests, faculty members, staff, and the students. I am privileged that I have been given this opportunity of delivering word of thanks. I, on behalf of M.E.R.I and the entire team of M.E.R.I family, let me call it as a fraternity of entrepreneurs, innovators, those who have joined today for this mega launch of our incubator center headed by Dr. Anjali Nigam. On behalf of everybody, I extend a hearty word of thanks to all of you, to all the speakers for gracing the event, for sharing their experience,